Hello, everyone. This is Jeff T. Fertiller, joined by Reese, my son, 12 years old, Jeff Haseley. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having this impromptu, if you want to call it, hangout here. Hopefully, we get Devin on here with us so he can join us and we can talk more football.
Devin Knotts maybe join us soon, so we're excited for that. This started because Jeff was lamenting that I missed the trivia contest from the Football Guys staff retreat. It happened to coincide with our school district spring break, and so we already had stuff bought, and I couldn't pull it off.
That's too bad, but I understood.
Plus, if I'm in a trivia contest, I want this little 12-year-old with me, and so Jeff, you want to bring a few trivia questions, and we then can migrate into NFL talk, NFL draft talk.
Sure. So let me just explain to you what I did for the trivia contest. There were 10 rounds, and there was about 4 or 5 questions in each round.
Wow.
And I had teams of roughly about 3 or 4 people per team, and I had 3 teams. So it definitely helps when you have more than one head, looking at these questions and coming up with the answers. Devin was part of that, so he knows if he joins us, he's familiar with the questions and the answers. But it took a while. It took a while to do, and we won't get into everything there. But I can at least start you off with a couple questions, and I have them categorized too. So I'll start off with this is what our round 1 questions were. The topic is rookies and draft picks. Okay. So let's start with a more recent question, and that one is: what rookie quarterback had the most passing yards in 2017? Last year, what rookie quarterback had the most passing yards?
Don't stop for a second, okay? Mm-hmm. We know it's not Mahomes. Mm-hmm. The trick that we have to consider is Beathard, but it's probably Watson.
Yes.
And it's not, I'm going to tell you, it's not Trubisky. Trubisky started 12 games and topped 200 yards in 3 of them. So I don't think it's him. I think Watson did more in those. And so it's not your favorite Nathan Peterman, Jeff.
What about Kaiser?
Yeah. How about that? That guy.
Oh, boy. He's got it. Reese got
Kaiser.
it. It's Deshaun Kaiser.
That's right. Deshaun Kaiser. Reese for the win. I wish I had music I could play. Actually, don't I? Doesn't the Google Hangouts have some sort of chime?
Oh yeah, but we're low effort people here.
All right, fair enough. Okay, here's hopefully this is maybe not necessarily a layup, but it's a good question nonetheless. Who had more receptions in the 2017 regular season, Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey?
See, he's a Patriots fan. I mean, a Panthers fan, so you have to look deep. So, I think Kamara's. This one's very close, isn't it, Jeff?
Yes, it's off by 1.
So most people think it's Kamara, but Kamara had a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. So
I'm going to lean McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey had 80 catches. Alvin Kamara had 81.
Oh.
There you go.
That was close.
Kamara. I guess it's Kamara, right? Let's see.
With the name like T. Fertiller or Haseley, we were saying, just close enough.
Right. All right. So next question in the round: what rookie had the most receptions without a receiving touchdown? And this is regular season, of course.
So who had the most receptions, but they did not score a touchdown this season?
Yeah, and it's a rookie.
Yeah. Do you know this?
Do you?
No. I know it's not Corey Davis. It's not Juju. Because Juju scored, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Corey Davis. I don't think
he didn't catch very many. I'm just going through the top guys. This one, I think, is going to be a non-receiver.
A running back, maybe.
Did how many receiving touchdowns? Just smiling.
This is not. I think it might. No. Okay.
Who do you think it is?
I was thinking it could be Samuel. but
he didn't catch very many. This is a great question, though, Jeff.
Thanks, man.
It is a very good question. It's not a. All right. What?
Take some time to think about it. I can go on to the next question.
No.
Right.
Who's your one guess?
I
have a guess too, but go ahead.
Corey Davis.
No, I'm gonna say. Somebody like George Kittle or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's Corey Davis.
He got it.
Very good. Yeah, Davis had those 2 catches for touchdowns in the playoff game, right?
Right.
He didn't have anything in the regular season.
He didn't catch that many balls total, though, did he?
I got to look back and see. Maybe he had like 40-something catches, maybe.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it'd be like one of those low-scoring teams.
Right. Yep, Corey Davis. There you go.
Good deal.
All right.
Reese is 2 for 3.
Sticking with rookies, since this is about rookies and draft picks, who is the only drafted rookie quarterback who finished the year without a touchdown pass? And I want to put a little addendum to this question. It is not Chad Kelly because he was the last pick, right? So I didn't count him. So X Chad Kelly out of that question.
Did Mahomes play?
Yes, he played that one game against the Broncos.
Did he score any touchdowns?
He threw one, yeah.
All right. I was checking to see if it was Mahomes, right? No, can I back you up to one of the greatest? Did your Broncos win that or the Chiefs? Chiefs. Is look at the record of the Chiefs starting quarterbacks of the players they've drafted.
Oh, wow.
Before Mahomes, before the Mahomes, the game he's referring to,
yeah,
it goes back.
Are they horrible?
It goes back somewhere between 10 and 20 years from the last one to throw a touchdown, drafted quarterback. Because Alex Smith, Elvis Grbac, Trent Green, Joe Montana
weren't drafted.
Yeah, and in fact, the ones with like the ones that won games, because even who's the guy from Alabama I'm missing? Didn't catch any. I mean, didn't win games. Anyway, that's just like in the back of your mind, good trivia question. All right, so what's the question?
I got it.
Who is it?
Who's your man from Miami?
Oh, Brad Kaya?
Kaya.
He thinks Brad Kaya.
No, it's not Brad Kaya.
Did Kaya throw a touchdown?
You know what? I gotta look and see. Was he drafted?
Yes, he was sixth round pick by the Lions.
All right, let's see. Now I'm gonna have to go look. I don't think that's not that he wasn't drafted by the Lions, but I don't think he scored a touchdown because
yeah, I don't think he scored one either.
He didn't show. No, but the answer that I have is
Davis Webb.
Mahomes.
Mahomes, he said, threw one against the Broncos.
Yeah. Did he not?
Did he not?
I don't think he did.
No.
If he scored, it was a rushing touchdown.
Oh. That was my first. By the way, Mahomes was my first thought. And same way, just from that, Davis Webb didn't throw one either, did he?
No. I don't know. Now you're going to make me go back and look. Let me see here. Let's see.
Only since you mentioned Chad Kelly.
Right. I'll have to look at that.
We can look at it another time.
Sure. Let's see. There's a bonus question in this round, and that is 5 drafted rookie receivers in 2017 had more receiving yards than first-round pick Corey Davis. Can you name them?
All right. Easy ones, Juju. Who else?
Okay. John Ross.
John Ross didn't have very much. He only caught like one pass.
He did? Oh, yeah. Then, okay. So we got Juju.
And
Zay Jones?
Zay Jones didn't catch very much. So you said how many caught more passes?
Yeah, 5. 5 did.
All right.
They were drafted.
Yeah. Do you need help on this one? You think you got it?
Who are you
You think you got it, or do you need help?
Wide receivers?
Yeah.
Oh, that puts a whole new spin on me.
No, it's all right. You got it, or do you need help?
Okay, who are you thinking?
All right, 40-something reception. Is that what you said?
I have to go back and see.
It's all right. Doesn't matter. So,
but yeah, maybe it might have been less than that. It might have been like between 36 and 40 or something like that. But
you do think so?
Yeah, because he got like 9 in one game. He was Peterman's favorite target.
I'm not buying what you're selling there, Sonny.
Okay.
Watch me be wrong. I have to go by divisions. That's how I do things. I think Patriots, Jets, Bills, Dolphins. None. AFC South. Jackson.
Would you like a hint?
Keelan Cole.
Keelan Cole, yeah.
Keelan Cole one of yours?
No, Keelan Cole is not one of them.
Was it on the receptions or on the not
receiving yards?
Huh?
Receiving yards.
Oh.
Keelan Cole had like 700 something. Was it because he's not a rookie or?
He's a rookie.
Anyway.
Now you're going to make me go back and look. Let me take a look. Hang on. I've got the link right here.
Jacksonville, Indy.
But I can give you a hint.
All right, bring.
One of them you already named was Juju Smith-Schuster. He's the only one from the AFC.
Ooh, all right.
Oh, Roger Lewis.
Roger Lewis is not a rookie. No, Dallas, no. Giants, no. Washington, no. Philly, no rookies, right?
Right.
North,
didn't catch much.
Lions, no. Packers, no. Vikings, no. Bears.
Keelan Cole must not have been a rookie, by the way.
That's what I'm saying, because he was
Either that or he
undrafted.
wasn't drafted.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's it. He wasn't drafted.
He had a good season, pretty unheralded season.
Yes.
All right, so NFC West, Arizona, no. San Fran was Trent Taylor. Was he one of them?
Trent Taylor is one of them. Yes.
He's one of the ones nobody gets.
And by the way, Corey Davis had 34 catches.
Okay.
All right. So did your boy Switzer didn't catch that many, did he?
I like Switzer. No, Switzer had 6 catches.
Yeah, but he's a Switzer fan.
Yeah.
Ryan Switzer. Cole Beasley, part 2.
Yeah, hopefully they cut Cole Beasley this year.
And Dez.
And Dez. Yes, they could. And they could take DJ Moore at pick 19.
Yeah. All right.
Ridley.
I will give up on this one because I don't want to waste everybody's time.
No, sure. All right. So
I'll take Godwin. How about Chris Godwin?
Yeah, Chris Godwin is one of them. Trent Taylor, you got him. You got Schuster. And the others, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And Kenny Golladay.
Golladay was one I would have not gotten. Did he get most of those in like week 1, 2 or something?
Well, he had a high yards per catch, so that helped him out. He had 28 catches for 477 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of which came, week 1?
That's what I was thinking.
Golladay is someone who actually could make some noise this year. We'll see what he does.
Lions are just a team that's hard to predict anyway.
Yeah, right. All right, should we move on?
Yes.
Wow, that was only one round.
Oh man, and
right.
and I flopped big time. The young man did a little better.
Tell me which category would you rather have? Okay, Jerry Rice, or the '80s, or coaches.
I'll take this man for Jerry Rice or '80s. Which one do you want?
Let's go 80s.
I think you're a Jerry Rice.
Okay,
guy.
let's go with Jerry.
I think you're a Jerry Rice guy.
Jerry Rice. All right. What 2 wide receivers were selected ahead of Jerry Rice in the 1985 NFL Draft?
I expected you to know this one, young man.
You know?
85 is
that really good pass
there's
rush.
2 years that I confused. Was Michael Irvin one of them?
Nope.
No, Irvin was a little bit later than that. He was
that's what I thought.
89 or something. 88.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his uniform number. I think I remember that. Something like that. 89 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Savannah State. I knew the other. Do you know who it is? Do you have one of them? You have one of them?
1985 Rookie of the Year from the Miami Hurricanes, Cincinnati Bengals. I forgot his name, but he got a neck injury later, didn't he?
85 Rookie of the Year.
Who was the Bengals? Was one of them a Bengal?
Yeah, one of them was a Bengal, yes. And the other one was a Jet.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Eddie Brown. I think that's the one you're talking about. I think he went to Miami. And L. Toon.
But he knew the Rookie of the Year went to Miami. That's why I'm saying I'll take him instead of me.
That's right. All right. Next question here. What team was Jerry Rice playing against when he tore his ACL in Week 1 of the 1997 season? Do you remember that game?
You ought to know this one. Come on.
Broncos?
No, I mean, it was 8 years before you were born. You ought to know this one.
That's all right.
Take the odds, right? It's going to be the odds are it's an NFC team. The odds are it's
either
I remember exactly what happened because it was kind of like on an end around type of play.
Yeah.
He said Rams or Cardinals.
No.
I'll say I'm saying Cowboys. Who was it?
Buccaneers. All right, here we go. This is right up your alley here, Jeff. What other professional football Hall of Famer went to the same school, Mississippi Valley State, as Jerry Rice?
This is up my alley. I'm drawing a blank.
Is this 1960s inductee?
Who is it?
It's old school.
Oh.
I'd say 60s and 70s, yeah.
60, inductee or when they played?
Either. Who do you think it is? I put a lot of faith in you, son. Don't let me down on this Jerry Rice 1960s questions.
All right.
I'm going to give my go-to guess answer. Mel Hine.
Nope. Deacon Jones.
Oh.
We both should have that.
Yeah, I did not know there.
Come on, Jeff. Right, that's right up your alley.
Do you know that is right up my alley? Do you know Deacon's go-to move as a pass rusher?
Swim.
No, head slap.
Oh.
The guy would line up and he'd go whack right across.
Of course, it's illegal now.
No, that was Deacon Jones. It is illegal now that they're worried about concussions. Yeah,
Yeah, they can somehow hurt the head.
All right, next question. All right, this is my favorite Jerry Rice question in the entire round. Jerry Rice has 151 career receptions in the playoffs. Who is second with 93?
So it's going to be a team, a player that's on a team that goes to the playoffs often.
So 93 would be somebody like Irvin or somebody that's been to a lot of playoff games.
It's amazing. Rice has 60 more catches than the next closest in the playoffs. That's insane. Anyway, yeah, so who is it?
I have two choices that I'm debating against right now.
I'm going Irvin. I don't care who he does. And that's just a guess because who's been to the most playoff games ever?
Ever? Probably Adam Vinatieri.
Probably right.
Yeah, but what receiver?
What receiver? Randy Moss?
You think it's Moss?
Yeah.
He's going Moss. Yeah.
Terrell Owens.
Who was it?
Reggie Wayne.
Oh, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? To follow a great follow-up question to that, who were the other receivers on the Miami team with Wayne?
Andre Johnson, and the running back was Frank Gore.
Frank Gore, McGahee, and Portis.
Yeah, and was who was the tight end back then?
But Santana Moss was on that team.
Greg Olson.
Was Greg Olson Greg
Olson was after that.
It was like Shockey was there.
Yeah, it might have been Shockey. You're right. And what a great team that was. Except for quarterback, who they always have a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
They have everything but quarterback.
And you'd think they'd be able to to recruit somebody that could run at least.
Well, except they've had Kelly, of course. They've had Kozar. They've had Toretta, if we want to call him anything.
He was Heisman.
Yeah. But what does that mean these days?
Yeah, I know. Put him right there with Tebow.
Here's the bonus question, Jeff. You ready for the bonus Jerry Rice question?
Yes.
Jerry Rice has caught a regular season touchdown pass from 14 different players in his career. From 1985 to 2004. How many can you name?
Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jeff Garcia, Rich Gannon, Matt Hasselbeck.
That's 5.
Come on, you don't slow down. Who else besides Gannon was a quarterback for the Raiders during that time? I like those sound effects in the back there, Jeff.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was my text message from my father who picked up some waterproofing paint for me.
Nice.
He works at Home Depot, so he was able to get a discount.
Awesome. Do you know any more? Who else did Moss play for besides the Niners and Raiders?
Seahawks. That's why I went for Hasselbeck.
All right. But I think there was another quarterback in there with Hasselbeck because Hasselbeck didn't get there till.
Who have you said so far? I totally forgot. You got Montana.
Garcia, Young, Montana, Gannon, Hasselbeck.
Okay. Montana, Young, Garcia, Hasselbeck, and Gannon. All right, got it.
5 right?
Yeah.
Was Dave Craig in there?
No. Dave Craig is not in there. The Seahawks, you've got one. I'll give you a hint. One was the Super Bowl champion.
Trent Dilfer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's 6.
I think it's the Raiders that had a bunch that you were missing. Who else did he play for besides the Seahawks?
Raiders and.
Did he play for your Broncos?
He went to training camp, but.
Yeah. I give Jeff.
All right, so you missed Elvis Gerback, Steve Bono, Jeff Kemp, Rick Meyer, some other nobodies here. I think they were either running backs or punters.
How many did the guys there get?
I think I'd have to look at the spreadsheet, but I think someone. Let me look at it, see how they did.
Somebody get 10?
Oh yeah, I think so. Someone might have gotten 11 or 12. Adam's intense, man. He knows everything. I swear. Who else? Harry Sidney, Matt Kavanaugh, Mike Morawski, Terry Kirby. I think that's all of them.
Wow.
Anyway, I know, right? That's crazy. You got them, most of them. All right. You got time for one more round?
Yeah, let's do the 80s.
Yeah, 80s.
Want to do the 80s one? Okay. All right, here we go. In 1987, this 26-year-old rookie had 660 yards rushing. 2 years later, he led the league in rushing yards. Who is it?
In 1989, they led the league in rushing yards.
1987.
Yeah, but in 89, they led the league in rushing.
Yes, that's right. He was a 26-year-old rookie.
Oh, Giants?
Not the Giants.
You know who I was thinking?
Parkland?
Like Otis Anderson, those guys.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not him.
Hang on. I think is it one of your Broncos and the post-Portis trade, or is that before that?
Portis trade was 2000s.
All right. I was thinking of all the Broncos that came through.
Yeah. Is it Thurman Thomas?
No, because he wasn't a 26-year-old rookie.
Yeah.
Because I was in school with Thurman. I could tell you when he was. Thurman came out as a junior after the 86 season. He came out in the draft of 87.
Well, I was thinking.
But he was a
87
junior. I know.
Rookie and.
He was a junior. That's a good question. Do you know it?
I like giving you good questions.
Biner? Ernest Biner?
Ernest Biner. No, that's a good guess, but no, that's not right.
We give.
Christian Okoye.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Yeah. Remember he came on late?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Good. Next question. In 1984, the year Dan Marino topped 5,000 yards passing with 48 touchdown passes, what quarterback finished with the second most yards passing that year?
Joe Montana?
No, it's not Montana. Montana is like, he never had that many yards passing.
Yeah, 35K.
Yeah. What year was that?
84.
I'll go with Jim Zorn.
Nope. Neil Lomax.
Oh, nice.
How
Throw it.
about that?
Is that with the Cardinals?
Yeah. Roy Green, baby.
Oh, man. I was just
Right.
trying to think back to which receivers like Largent and those guys were having big years.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Next 80s question. In 1983, Mark Mosley led the league with 161 points scored. What player was second with 144 points?
Player.
All right, when it ends in 44 like that, it's probably touchdowns. What year was
Riggins.
John Riggins?
John Riggins is right. Look at that. Yeah, you figure it's on the same team, right? Because they scored so many points that year.
But also 144 is divisible by 6, so you know it's touchdowns.
There you go.
That's what I was trying to help you with.
And the 2-point conversion wasn't around back then. Right. Question 4. What quarterback had the most interceptions in the decade of the 1980s? 1980 through 89.
So it's probably someone that played through a lot of it.
Yeah, it's going to be somebody like Garcia.
Garcia?
He was 90s, right?
Right.
But somebody like him that played a lot.
We're talking 80s, though, remember?
I know, but somebody that bounced around, a lot of teams, threw a lot of passes. Oh.
Elway.
It's going to be Elway, Montana, one of those guys, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I said, Elway.
He's saying Elway.
It is not John Elway, but the correct division.
Fouts.
Yep, Dan Fouts.
But it had to be one of those. It had to be one of those high volume guys. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the which running back has the most carries for negative yards is Barry Sanders because he had the most carries for any length of yardage.
All right, you ready for the bonus questions?
Oh yeah. Okay,
in 1982, the strike shortened season, which 3 players led the league in passing yards, rushing yards, and receiving yards?
Are they all on the same team?
No. No, they're not.
Well,
who led it in passing?
Theismann. We know rushing is Riggins.
Even strike shortening?
Yes.
All right, you think that's Riggins?
Yeah.
Is that true, Jeff?
It's not John Riggins. I can give you a hint. All of the answers are AFC teams or AFC players.
AFC players. 1 second. Today's AFC or then's AFC?
Today's AFC.
Okay.
There's not much of a change.
Because it would be sneaky if you had a Seattle Seahawks for one of them.
Yeah. No, it's not.
That would be awesome, though, wouldn't it, to do that to Adam or whoever?
They would
have Steve Largent as one of the answers.
I'll have to remember that. I have to stump that freaking guy. All right.
Hey, I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know if I have a decent idea.
Choose one of them and take a swing.
Okay. Hey, hold on. Be right back.
I'll think. This is my timeout break. I'll think.
All right.
So
there he is.
Sorry, I had to let the dog out.
All right. Hey, did you see my what he's thinking? Did you see my tweet earlier today about trivia question? And this is like a great one. Which first round? Quit that yawning. It's not that late. You bored?
No.
All right. Which first round receiver had as many catches in one college game as he did his entire collegiate.
Yeah, I saw your tweet. Yeah, Rashawn Woods.
Yes,
that's a great question.
Since he's an Oklahoma State boy, I had to go look it up.
Yeah, he was such a bust.
Oh yeah. All right, what you got, Reese? Before we move on,
Running back Harris, Franco Harris.
No, it's not Harris.
Okay, quarterback, Plunkett, and then the white.
Not Plunkett. Should I just tell you?
yes.
All right, it's Dan Fouts. The receiver was his teammate Wes Chandler, and the running back was Freeman McNeil.
Nice Jets action, right?
Yeah.
Man, I am showing poor memory on this, Mr. Haseley.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh no.
So hey, I just got a text from my wife who said she's at the concert, and she said the bassist just threw Nolan a guitar pick because he saw a sign that says, "This is my first concert."
Nice.
How about that? Anyway.
Nice.
Nice moment right there.
All right. So could you want to shift to some NFL talk? Like
sure.
Draft? I have two strong takes that I want your opinion on.
Okay.
One, the Packers, this is like very specific, so everybody will know whether I'm right or wrong. The Packers take a receiver in round 2. And
any
here's
ideas
why.
on who? I think a lot of receivers are going to go round 2.
But that's not why. Here's their history, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Ferguson, 2nd round. Greg Jennings, 2nd round. Devontae Adams, 2nd round. Derek May, 2nd round. Terrence Murphy, all the way down to Randall Cobb was 2nd round. Freeman was the only one that was a 3rd round.
Was Greg Jennings 2nd round?
Greg Jennings was 2nd round. And so they just have this, history of that 2nd, 3rd round receiver, especially in the later, in the last few years.
Yeah. You know who I think would be a really good, fundamental, perfect fit? I would say he's strong in the slot type of receiver that would fit well, especially in the 2nd round.
Who's
a guy like Anthony Miller or Christian Kirk.
Yep. Or a guy like James Washington that can stretch the field.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible too. That 2nd round is going to be the beginning and middle of the 2nd round. I think is going to be loaded in receivers.
Oh yeah, and so, I got it. So can I throw you a trivia question on the Packers receivers that I just came up with?
Sure.
What? Don't answer if you know. What round was Donald Driver drafted?
He was the 7th round pick, right?
12th.
12th round pick.
That's back when they had it.
Did they have it back then? Are you sure about that?
Am I sure?
Yeah.
No, not especially, but
okay, I
only have a screenshot over on my other screen, but I'm going to look this up. All right.
Let's see. Donald Driver.
He may have been 7. He was 7th.
There we go.
But they had a 12th round. Let me see who it was.
They had the 12th round back then?
Yeah, they had some in the 80s.
I thought they stopped that, I don't know, in the 80s or early 80s. Anyway.
Yeah, they might have. There's somebody I was thinking of that's up there. Yes, you are correct, because Driver was picked just a few picks before, the infamous Jeff Janis and Malachi Dupree in terms of – but – yeah, there's somebody I'm thinking of that was a 12th rounder. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Am I not here? I'm here.
No, you are. You just went out the way the thing had it. I feel bad now throwing out bogus stat from my bogus memory. But I think the Packers have to go receiver because they're going to lose Cobb next year.
Yeah, it sure seems like it.
Just like I think your Panthers are going to have to draft a 2nd or 3rd round receiver.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. But think about who they have, right? They've got Funchess. They have Torrey Smith. You got him in the trade with Philadelphia. They have Curtis Samuel. They have Demir Bird, who played pretty well, got hurt. And they've got Jarius Wright, who they signed.
But I would argue that everybody other than Funchess is a average NFL or worse NFL player, other than maybe Bird. Bird's the only one that. And Samuel, we just don't know. But I meant though that Jarius Wright and Torrey are just not there.
But the thing is, I don't think Carolina has to have a grade A or even a grade B receiving core in order to be good. I think they're a run-heavy type of offense that can make timely passes to their wide receivers. Heck, when they went to the Super Bowl, they didn't have much of anyone, right? They had, let's see, they had Kelvin Benjamin and they had Funchess, but they had like Jericho Cotchery and they had who else did they have back then?
Cotchery was quality receiver. Olsen, but
Olsen.
But you said run heavy.
Part of their receiving team by far.
I hear you. You said run heavy. Who's another runner on that team?
Well, they're going to have to draft a running back. I think they're going to go after either one of three players. Here's my pick here, Jeff. I'm going to say one of these three players will be on the Panthers at the end of the draft. That's either Nick Chubb, Kerryon Johnson, or Bo Scarborough.
I see, because they're all very similarly built. Or you know who else fits that build is Royce Freeman.
Yeah, Royce Freeman too. He's one of them, but I would put him maybe as their fourth type of option. I'm not sure about him. We'll see.
I meant physically.
From what I understand though, they haven't had a whole lot of interest in him, or at least didn't schedule a visitor. Nothing that I'm aware of there, but I would say one of those three players they'll have on their team.
Chubb's the only one of those I like.
You don't like Scarborough or Kerryon Johnson?
Kerryon Johnson. I just don't like those inside runners on trap plays in college. With the mobile quarterback. It's just not a good, that are slow. It's just I don't think the NFL's kind to those guys.
Well, if Nick Chubb can last until the second round, I think they have to look at him. But they need to get a corner or a safety and a corner also, in my opinion.
Yeah. All I was getting at was there aren't very many big, slow running backs that have excelled.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like your LeGarrette Blount. That's not anyone really who's maybe like a Rudy Johnson.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, I see.
Corey Dillon.
Yeah, that's old school. Now you'd say the P. Ryan or some of those other guys.
Yeah, so Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Larry Johnson. Guys his age won't appreciate how strong Larry Johnson and Priest Holmes were for that 3-year stretch.
Man, I loved Priest Holmes.
You know what I mean? For fantasy, those two guys were Priest put up like 27 total touchdowns in 1 year with a lot of receptions. I mean, he was just crushing PPR leagues.
Are you done?
Yeah.
But going back to the Panthers thing, the Panthers didn't even have Kelvin Benjamin for that year. He tore his ACL in the preseason. Remember?
The Super Bowl year. That's right. They didn't have him. Who did they have then? They had Funchess.
Cotchery. Gosh,
man. Olsen. They had Ted Ginn.
Ted Ginn. But they also had D'Angelo and Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah, and they need to find their Jonathan Stewart. If they could find another Jonathan Stewart, I think that would help. And Royce Freeman is close to it. Heck, they went to the same school.
Right. Big, fast guys.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think Bo Scarborough is going to be someone who surprises people.
I like his big fastness, his quick, his agility. He has great hips.
Yeah.
He's so oft injured.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
The other thing, I have this thought, and this is like a weird thought, so bear with me. I'm okay for feedback. But a lot of those big name programs, including Alabama, including Oklahoma, including all those, they get their guys almost 100% topped out before they get to the NFL. And it's hard for them to grow.
And just wear and tear.
Yeah. But they're also tapped out physically. You know what I mean? They're at like the max.
Yeah. What's your take or your thought on Sony Michel?
I like him as a. I don't like him as a 3-down back. I like him in that Kamara type role. Like, we would not be talking about Kamara like we do, my lowly opinion, if Ingram wasn't there and Ingram wasn't healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to put Kamara on the field in some great situations.
Yeah, no, that's true. It'll be interesting to see what happens after Ingram leaves.
Yeah, and Kamara had a lot of touchdowns too.
He did, and apparently 81 catches from the trivia question.
Yes, I got the 80 part, not the 81.
81.
So your Bills, you're a Bills fan too, right?
Yeah.
All right, so they have McCarron, they have Benjamin, Zay Jones, they have Shady McCoy, all on a rebuild team, right?
Yeah.
How do they prioritize what to do? They have a 32, 33-year-old Shady. You know, Charles Clay is still athletic, but, you know, I'm still trying to figure out, are they going to go full rebuild or are they going to trade up and go for a quarterback?
They need a quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after Lamar Jackson, maybe with their 24th pick. Or wait, did they have 22?
They also
have 24.
Yeah, they have the 12 and the 22.
Yeah, and I don't think Lamar Jackson would be a good pick for the 12 slot there, but I think Lamar Jackson would be a really good pick for them. I'm not sure if they're planning on moving up and you know, packaging those two to move up. That's possible, but if they don't, I can see Lamar Jackson at 22.
Yeah, I kind of see Lamar in either Arizona or Jacksonville, sitting behind a bad veteran.
That's possible.
Because they pick right before.
They need offensive line too. Buffalo does. So they might take someone in the at pick 12. I don't think they go wide receiver at pick 12. I think they probably wait.
Especially after busting Zay Jones, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that team almost feels like it's full rebuild, but I don't know what to do, you know, what to think of it, how to process it, because I'm not a full Benjamin fan.
Yeah, right.
You know, are you? I mean, do you think Benjamin's a legit receiver one?
No, I don't. I think Cam Newton helped to make him what he grew into a little bit, you know. But he doesn't get very good separation. His hands are adequate, but he's more of a catch and fall down type of receiver, right? He doesn't have much run after the catch, at least not that I've seen. I've seen maybe one or two good plays that he's actually caught the ball on the run, literally in his whole career. Everything else is contested, and you know he catches it and he gets tackled, and that's it. And then going to Buffalo, especially without a quarterback, you know, who knows? But I still think Lamar Jackson's their best bet. It just depends on how the quarterback situation falls.
I like Lamar. But, you know, I know Baltimore likes Lamar, and I think Buffalo likes Lamar. And since both of them are dreams of Tyrod in the past,
they might shy away.
I wouldn't want, if I'm a Jackson fan, I wouldn't want, because both teams kind of misused Tyrod.
Yeah, but you also have to take a look at Buffalo, why am I escaping? Why is the coach escaping me?
McDermott.
Sean. I couldn't think of his first name. He's familiar with Cam Newton, of course, right? So, I mean, they're kind of a similar type of quarterback in that they like to run. They're mobile. So, we'll see. I mean, it all depends on how that all shakes out and what their interests are. For all we know, they might move up and grab possibly a Baker Mayfield or something like that. But I don't think he's on their radar, though. I could see him going to Denver, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Bronco Billy here would love to have any of those non-Josh Allen top 4 quarterbacks in Denver.
I'm with you, man. I'm not high on Josh Allen myself either. And it's funny how the Browns are talking about him or Darnold, and you know they're completely forgetting and moving on from Josh Rosen or even Baker Mayfield. It's either Darnold or Allen. It's just kind of mind-boggling why.
I almost think that, all right, so the news story, I know you saw it, where Darnold was signing ball helmets for Cleveland, made me think one thing. But I could also see Cleveland throwing out this Josh Allen stuff, trying to bait somebody who they think would trade up for Josh Allen. You know what I mean? And then they take whichever one of those other three that fell to 4.
You think the Giants take a quarterback too?
I think they have to. Don't you, Reese?
Yes.
Because I look at that team, and that team's a mess.
Well, they have Eli.
I know, but their running backs are Jonathan Stewart, Paul Perkins, Wayne Gallman.
Wide receivers are old.
Wide receivers are Beckham, who may get traded, Shepard, who's a slot guy, Evan Ingram, who's a slot receiver,
and Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall, I think, will be cut.
I heard that it looks like they're going to stick with Beckham, that they're not going to make any trades. But then again, who knows at this stage of the game? It could all be coach speak, draft
What do
speak.
we know, really, right? I mean, it's all lying season.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. 2 more takes. I want your opinion, too. What do you think of New England with Jordan Matthews? Jordan Matthews, or they trade away?
They've got him. They have Kenny Britt. Who else do they have? Malcolm Mitchell.
Edelman, Hogan.
No, I'm thinking of other than those guys. I think they kind of like fit that role. One of them is going to emerge, whether that's Britt or Matthews, as someone who's going to be like the 4th option for Brady, because you've got the running backs. First of all, you've got Edelman, you've got Gronk, and then you have whatever receiver flavor of the week is going to be available for all these other opportunities. I don't really see him being that big of a player. Maybe 5 touchdowns at best, 6, and 40 catches. I just don't. New England does not have good, successful wide receivers other than Moss, with the exception of Welker and Edelman. It's either Welker or Edelman, and then nobody else, with the exception of Moss. Moss is the only other one. Maybe Brandon LaFell had a decent year with them. Right. But that's about it.
And
and Cooks. Cooks last year, but even that was not as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah, Welker was an undrafted free agent or 7th rounder to the Dolphins, and they gave him the 2nd round tender or something like that, and Belichick snapped him up.
Yep.
But I am not all in on Edelman, given his health, or Hogan, given, I
forgot about Hogan, even though I didn't forget about him. I just forgot to mention. But yeah, he's in there too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't buy them. Last time we saw Kenny Britt, he was marginal. That's the only reason I'm somewhat ambitious on Matthews. You have any strong take on that, young man?
I think Matthews is definitely better than Britt, and I think Hogan's going to beat out Matthews.
That's pretty much what he was saying. How about the other one that befuddles me is Indianapolis has a star quarterback coming back from major injury, right?
Right.
So they let the number 2 receiver walk.
They got a lot of holes, man.
And then they sign Ryan Grant, and then they spend money to sign Eric Ebron as their tight end 2. And so you talk about a team with no O-line, bad defense, and poor receiving core, because it's not like Ryan Grant's some star. I think Chester Rogers is probably better than he is.
It sounds to me like they're going to be aiming for some sort of running back with one of their picks, whether they have 2 picks right in the beginning in the 2nd round. I don't think they'll go with it with their number, what are they, 6th? Number 6? 7?
6.
I know that they have a couple picks in the 2nd round. I have a feeling that, they're going to go heavy on running back and try to be more of a pound the ball type of team, especially if they're really struggling from the receiving department. And, of course, Luck will figure it out if Luck, of course, is healthy.
The other strong take I have that's very counter is that Frank Gore will lead the Dolphins in rushing this year.
That's possible. I mean, they still have Drake. We'll see.
Yeah, Drake was the off-injured Bama running back,
Yeah, but it's not like he was used a ton there.
Yeah, that argument goes both ways, though, right?
What's the other argument? He's either used or he's not.
I meant why he's used. Either that he was not used because he wasn't better, or they didn't use him much because they were spelling him for all their others. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's just more along the lines of a balanced rushing attack that Alabama had, and he was just a piece of that.
Yeah. What'd you say?
At least Gore's back where he was earlier.
Yeah, Gore's he's gonna be like the full circle of life Lion King, go to college in Miami and finish his career there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he could just be the veteran back who comes in that they need. I don't see him leading the team. That's an interesting take, though.
I don't think Drake. I think it has to do with Drake's help more than Gore's ability. Is what I'm trying to allude to.
You mean that Drake is going to get hurt?
Yes. You looked at his college career. He was very injury prone. Even if it was like his junior year or senior year, he broke his forearm or something like that. I remember watching
last year. Did he?
No, I don't think so. But he wasn't used until after the Ajayi trade.
Yeah, right. But still, I mean, he had a lot of carries. He had a high percentage of snaps and carries.
He's just not a guy. I mean, I like him, but he's way valued high.
Is Damian Williams still on the team, or did he go somewhere else?
He's with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have
him and Spencer Ware
and Charkandrick West, and they were sniffing around Kerwin Williams this week.
I'd say they're pretty much set at running back.
Yeah, the funny part is, that makes me wonder a little bit about Hunt if they're still adding depth. It may say more about Charkandrick West, right? I mean,
yeah, right. Are any of those special teams guys? Maybe some of them are just there for special teams.
Reese points out that maybe it has to do with Ware not being back to where he was.
Yeah, could be. Who knows? We won't know yet.
Such a mess, right? I mean, I can't get past them giving Albert Wilson big money. Albert Wilson and who was the other receiver they brought in with big money, and then they can't keep Jarvis Landry.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't get it.
They got Parker. What's his name? Not Parker. He's already there. Amendola.
Yeah,
but I mean, he was a small signing.
But the money that Amendola and Wilson are getting isn't that far off from what Landry would have cost.
And where did Dante Moncrief go?
Jacksonville.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, Jacksonville's got some interesting decisions to make at wide receiver as well.
Yeah, he's like an $8 or $9 million 1 year prove it deal, and so I will say this: I'm on the DD Westbrook train.
Are you?
I think Westbrook and Keelan Cole are better than Moncrief and Marquise Lee.
That's interesting, and it's also a good thought process here to think if they are going to start the year with, say, like Marquise Lee as their number one wide receiver, or are they going to draft someone fairly high? Don't know. They have a lot of strength on that team, and I would say wide receiver is kind of lost some of that, especially losing Allen Robinson
and Hearns in Dallas.
Yeah, and Hearns, right.
But I think they're going quarterback, don't you? I mean, Bordeaux's basically, you got that ballyhooed contract, but it was basically a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah.
Can they win with Bordeaux's?
Hey, what's the situation with Cam Meredith in New Orleans? They signed an offer sheet to him, right? But Chicago has the ability to match?
Yes.
When do they have until to match him?
I think it's like 7 days or something like that.
So if they lose Meredith, who do they have? They've got Robinson and they got Taylor Gabriel. They have Gabriel, right?
White.
And Kevin White. Yeah, Kevin White. I don't know. I've kind of given up on Kevon White.
Can I bait you into a conversation that I saw, and I was on the outskirts of on Twitter this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mentioning names just because I don't like. I just there was one person that said the Bears putting 2 low tender off. So basically, the Bears gave Meredith a $1.9 million tender.
They botched the tender.
But if they would have added it to the $2.9 million tender, it would have been a second round pick that they get in return.
So what do they get in return now? Nothing?
nothing. And so the same would have happened. You remember like the Kyle Fuller, somebody signed Kyle Fuller and they matched. But
Washington, maybe?
New Orleans signed him for a 2-year, $10 million contract, which is $5 million a year.
Yeah. Cam Meredith?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty much what Torrey Smith is getting in Carolina.
Yeah.
Which is that's laughable.
Right. But the part that gets me is if you're the Bears and you match, why didn't you give him money before now on a 2-year, 1-year deal, prove it, option for the second?
Yeah. It sounds like the GM kind of messed that up a little bit. I don't know who that is. Who's the Bears GM?
It's it's Pace, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
But anyway, that was interesting to me. Is that interesting to you?
Yeah, I mean, that second round pick could probably get them if they wanted to. That second round pick could probably get them a replacement for Cameron Meredith at half the cost plus maybe better talent.
That's the issue is nobody would have signed him and got the second round, but it would have been half the cost. And so it's stuff like that some people say the Bears don't understand the rules. I think that they, when I mentioned Welker earlier, I was kind of thinking about this deal, Jeff. The Patriots have been all over those kind of deals for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about Brandon Cooks and the Rams receivers?
Man, talk about a team that's all in for this year, right?
I don't like the totality of their moves. I think they're 1 or 2 injuries away from disappointment, and then they have 3 or 4 big veterans that they have to sign for next year.
Well, I think one thing is with Brandon Cooks, it kind of spoils the Josh Reynolds party a little bit because I think it's going to be Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp as the primary options in addition to Cooks. But I don't know. I think his value goes down for sure, and he's probably not on the team next year. So this is already his 3rd team, and it'll be 4 teams probably next year. Which is, and he's not even done with his rookie deal, right?
Right, and he's only a 1,000-yard, 7-touchdown guy, is my whole take. And so, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Kind of reminds me of the Rams are just wheeling and dealing, kind of like Jerry Jones, trying to run a team like a fantasy team. And not paying enough attention to the big positions, but I mean they do. They have good players on all areas. I mean their offensive line is pretty solid. Their defensive line is solid. Their secondary is solid.
Yeah.
Their running back is one of the best in the league. I mean the Rams are. It's hard to look at them and say, oh yeah, no. It's going to have to be one of those things where chemistry, injuries. Or something like that. I remember when the Eagles had their dream team. That's
what I was going to interrupt you with, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Dream team?
Oh, when they signed
Owens.
No, they signed a bunch of defenders.
They had
Chip Kelly's first year.
Nnamdi Asamoah.
Yeah.
Who turned out to be a bust. Just a different type of defensive scheme.
The wide 9. Remember the wide 9?
The wide 9.
That's the Jim Schwartz defense that year.
Okay, no, that does not ring a bell, but that's all right.
Anyway, I enjoy talking football. I was just thinking the Rams, the Seahawks are in a mess. I was looking at that today.
And they don't have many draft picks either.
No, their O-line stinks, right? Sherman's gone. Other defenders are gone. Bennett.
Richardson.
Right. Their best running back is Chris Carson. Their best wide receiver is Baldwin. They don't have a number 2. They don't really. Their best tight end is Nick Bennett. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You gotta hope that Russell Wilson can throw the party and do it all, which he pretty much has.
Yeah, but they got to play the Rams twice and the Niners twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, and whoever else.
Right.
But they've got a first-round pick. I'm looking at their draft right now. They have a first-round pick. they don't have a second-round pick, and they don't have a third-round pick. They pick again in the 4th round, and let's see, how many total picks do they have? Wow. Let's see. Well, they have a bunch of picks later, right? But they have a 1st-round pick and then 4th. I think they have like 2 or 3 5ths, a 6th and a 7th, something like that. But that's going to hurt them.
Especially having no running back and no receivers outside of Baldwin. And I don't think Darbo and those guys are quite enough. They did sign Jerron Brown and guys at that level, but I don't think that's enough.
What about Lockett?
Lockett's coming back. Good call. But still, I mean, they've lost a lot of depth.
Yeah, and they need receiver, and they're not going to take a 1st-round receiver, I don't think. Not they could, but the good receivers are going to be gone by the 4th round.
Right.
I'm surprised that they didn't get a 2nd or 3rd round pick in composition for Sherman.
That'll be next year if they do.
Yeah, that's next year.
It's a year lag.
And they have to make sure that their ratio of players signed and players released are they've lost more than they've signed. And I think that's the case for next season.
Yeah, but they still – I mean, who else did they lose in that secondary besides Sherman? Didn't they cut
Chancellor?
Chancellor and Sheard.
They cut Chancellor? Ooh, where did he go?
I don't know.
Didn't they? I thought they did.
Thomas is still there.
Earl Thomas is. They're going to cut. They're going to have to cut him, aren't they?
I don't know. They're having cap issues, and so you think about them pushing all in when they traded Max Unger and a 1st for Jimmy Graham.
Well, they still have Chancellor right now, and technically they still have Thomas, but
they cut Sheard and some others.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking,
Michael Bennett.
They made the big trade for Graham, and that didn't really work out.
No. In fact, it probably totally derailed his Hall of Fame chances.
And derailed their O-line, right? Because Max Unger is one of the better centers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
When I think of running backs, I'm switching gears, running backs that I think I feel strongly about them rebounding this season.
Mm-hmm.
Who comes to the top of your thought? And not injury guys like
are you talking about like a veteran guy or someone who's like a couple years in the league?
Doesn't matter. Just somebody not like an injured guy like Devin Cook.
Or David Johnson. The guy I was thinking of is Jordan Howard.
Yeah, no, I like Jordan Howard, especially with the way the Bears offense looks to be improving.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, that he's going to be undervalued. Even at running back 7, 8, 10, something like that.
What do you think the situation is going to be like in Houston? Because that's another offense that's up on the coming up. Lamar Miller and Dante Foreman are 2 guys who can battle each other.
Yeah, and I see people mocking running back to Houston. I don't think they do it after drafting Foreman last year, even though he did have the Achilles injury, right?
Yeah, and the drugs and guns.
You could make a case for C.J. Anderson too, having a somewhat comeback year.
Right, mm-hmm. If he stays with them or is allowed to stay with the Broncos.
Right. Joe Mixon too in Cincinnati.
Right, but I was just trying to think. This is the time, and what I'm about to. This is a soapbox, so I apologize. This is the time of year where we have to solidify our thought process, right, on who we like, who we don't, because then when we add the context of the draft in, we have to already know how we feel about those players in those situations. Does that make sense?
And I think you have to look at teams like the Colts, the Buccaneers, Panthers, all teams who need a running back. Because right now, the Panthers have McCaffrey, but he can't be their go-to guy. He's more of a receiver than a rusher, unless he turns into the next Tiki Barber.
Right.
Which I don't know if that's going to happen, but you never know. North Turner, whatever. But Tampa Bay, who the hell does Tampa Bay have? Peyton Barber?
Peyton Barber and Quiz, but Doug Martin and DeMarco Murray are still unsigned.
I thought Doug Martin went to Oakland.
Oh yeah, he might have.
Yeah. He did.
I missed that.
No,
No, they don't have anyone.
Okay.
Maybe the Colts have. The Colts have what?
Marlon Mack.
Yeah, Mac. I'm not sold on him.
No.
What, this is his third year?
I'm especially not sold on him when he was ripping up, lower colleges.
He was a Central Florida, South Florida guy.
Yeah. Yay, you could beat up this,
Oh, be nice.
lower.
Be nice. But where does DeMarco Murray go? Does he help one of those teams, or is he already gone?
Shoot, where did he go? Where did DeMarco Murray go? I forgot.
You're right on Martin. I missed that one. It was when we were
DeMarco
on
Murray
vacation.
signed?
Martin is in Oakland. March 15th is when he signed.
No, but
Deal.
did DeMarco Murray get signed? Is he still open?
Not that I know of that he signed, but I'm looking at it right now.
That's
But
interesting.
The reason why Martin probably signed with Oakland is because that's where he grew up.
Good call. But the other side of it is, did you see anything, Jeff, that made you think that Marshawn Lynch was even a shadow of his former self last year?
Nah, he had some moments, but he was way off of my radar even last year. I had no interest in him at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. And
I think Gruden feels the same way. They're just kind of keeping him on to up the fan base a little bit. I think that would be a big blow to the team and to the fan base if they cut him or let him go. But talk about, another local guy. But
yeah, that area does have a lot of local. It's an area.
Yeah, it's an area.
I try to be nice. You know me, Jeff. I try to take the high road on everything.
Speaking of the Raiders, what do you think of Jordy Nelson? He's a guy I'm staying away from. I don't know if you saw my tweet a couple weeks ago about him, but I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
I'm with you, especially when we think of where. All right, so can I push that conversation up higher and then higher?
Yeah.
So if you're not high on Jordy, does that reflect on how you view Carr or Gruden? Or is it that you just think Jordy's done?
I think Jordy might be done. I don't think he's gonna fall apart. I just don't see him as what we've seen before, with 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. It's just not gonna happen. I don't see that at all.
Not with Cooper?
No, not with Cooper either. But the Raiders' offense is just kind of has some question marks in my opinion. We'll see what happens, but I don't see Jordy coming close to what he used to be. And not only that, but he's also older. He's a veteran, and he's I don't know how old he is exactly. Let me take a look.
He was drafted in 08.
So he's like 32, 33.
So yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah, and that's why I think that Carr is going to be value based, and then in the fantasy drafts, he had a back injury for much of last year. I'm just unsure of their weapons. I'm just unsure. They traded away Cordero Patterson.
And Amari Cooper is, we kept on waiting for him to blossom into this elite wide receiver, and he just hasn't done it. And it's been, what's his fourth year?
Yeah.
So, the jury's out.
Yeah, and all right, so I'm going to pull. Do you have any situations you want to talk about before I put Mr. Haseley on the spot because of this rookie ranking tweet from earlier?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Okay. When did the Cowboys say goodbye to Beasley and then take over and have Switzer take over?
How about say goodbye to Dez as well?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think Beasley is signed until at least 2019, I think. But Dez could be cut this year just because of his cap hit, right? I don't remember exactly how high it is, but it's pretty high.
Yeah. The other side about Dez that most people miss, and I know you're square on this, knowing it, but he hasn't been good since 2014.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't high on him last year either. I haven't really been high on Dez at all. I don't think I've ever owned him in a redraft league.
Yeah, but he's like 60 for 600 and 5 touchdown kind of guy now. He just has that name value.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I was trying to think of like T.Y. Hilton is a guy that I like this year, especially if Luck's coming back, and we talked about no receivers.
Hilton has proven that he can do everything that he needs to do on the field, regardless of the quarterback, which you don't see that often.
Right. I'd rather have him than Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because Hilton can actually, even if he was always double teamed last year, and he still put up more points.
I might rather have Devin Funchess than Brandon Cooks.
I don't know if I'm
my homerism coming out. No, I mean the Rams have too many players to throw to, and we saw what Sammy Watkins did in that offense last year.
So on Watkins, I'll start with Bronco Billy here. I always call him Bronco Billy. He's too young to appreciate what it means, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that, but I remember it.
Bronco fan. What do you think of Sammy Watkins in Kansas City?
I think
it really depends on. Oh, you're asking me. Sorry.
Him than you.
Okay.
I think that I think he is a shadow of himself, and that's not gonna go well because he's gonna be option 3 for a second year Patrick Mahomes, who has started all of one game. So I can't see him emerging above Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill. But I think will. Or Hunt. But I think he will help Patrick Mahomes ease into the starting role because he, along with Kelce and Hill, are veterans.
In those 6 games, he's healthy.
Yes. Mahomes or
Watkins. Sorry, that was subtle. Jab. Watkins. Jeff, what do you think?
I actually like Pat Mahomes this year. I think he's going to do fairly well. So that's going to help Watkins. And we could see an improvement for Watkins this year than last year, which then again, that wouldn't take much. But I do like Watkins, but not probably where his ADP is going to be at.
Right. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So
Funchess or Watkins?
I don't know. Well, it depends on if Carolina drafts another receiver or not. But if they stand pat, I'd say Funchess. I think he'll have more touchdown opportunities, and I think he'll also have more opportunities for receptions and yards than Watkins. Well, I mean, we'll see. A lot of it depends on Mahomes. If Mahomes is the next coming of Brett Favre, then Watkins could be outstanding, and it all depends on how he's used and everything. But that's an excellent question. I also am pretty high on Funchess though. So he was pretty good last year, and he's improving each year.
So I have Watkins in that, and I'm gonna get crushed. So I'm okay with that. All right.
All right.
I put him in that Kenny Stills 50 for 650 and a handful of touchdowns crowd.
Hey, if Cam Meredith becomes a Saint, would you rather have Cam Meredith or Funchess?
Funchess, just because of your boy Teddy Ginn. That if you look at what the Saints have done, they've done this so well and so cheaply. They picked up Teddy Ginn for almost nothing. 2 years, $10 million's almost nothing. Mike Thomas on his rookie deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, they're positioning themselves really well.
After messing up the Kobe Fleener, but we won't mention
that. I could see Cameron Meredith having a pretty decent role with New Orleans, especially if Breeze is still Breeze.
Yeah. And those underneath.
He could have 7 or 8 touchdowns in that on that team.
Oh yeah. And so I like Cam Meredith. Don't take it otherwise. I just Breeze. Here's my take from last year, and I do not have the stats in front of me to support this. Breeze threw less passes last year than what we were used to because they had such a good running game.
Right, true.
And he threw fewer passes to the receivers as such. And because, he just didn't have the weapons, he didn't throw as much. He was able to hand off to Kamara and Ingram. But that's what tempers me a little bit on Cameron Meredith.
Hey, Jeff, let me ask you a question here. What's your dynasty take on Mike Williams, with the Chargers?
If I own him,
Anything?
I'm not selling, and if I don't own him, I'm not buying. Because you're either having to sell low or you have to pay.
So you think there's any chance, or is he the next Laquan Treadwell?
Well, do you give a second-round pick that you could use on John Kelly as a running back, or do you take a chance on a guy that's had 2 back injuries?
Wait, say that again?
So you have a second-round rookie pick. It's probably the cheapest you could get him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can either take and he's had a couple back injuries, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking off of your list here, okay?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got you.
So you'd have John Kelly or Miller or Gallup or one of those guys versus Mike Williams.
Yeah, I'd probably take the rookie pick.
That's all I was getting at.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So you want to talk about my picks?
Well, here in a second. ESB as well. I love ESB for where you have them. All right, I have 3 questions, and 2 of these Reese and I talked about over dinner, so he's a little bit prepared. Okay. All right, this one he has not heard us talk about. Ryan Tannehill in Miami. Did they draft a quarterback?
Yes.
What do you think, Jeff?
When you say draft a quarterback, do you mean in the first 2 rounds?
Yes, first round. Let's just say first round, because second round quarterbacks are a crapshoot.
I don't know. I don't think they do.
Because Gase has been waffly on them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the 2 questions, and do you think these are good questions?
Yeah.
All right. For Washington Redskins quarterback, does Alex Smith put up more fantasy points this year than Cousins did last year?
No.
Why not?
No. Because I think Cousins is a better quarterback than Alex Smith. I think Alex Smith might have thrived in Andy Reid's system, and I think that helped him. And it might be tough for him to duplicate those numbers on a new team. I don't know. I can't really say more than that, but I like Cousins a lot. I think he's going to do well in Minnesota.
Especially on a Washington team without a running game. See, this is where Washington, they overpaid Paul Richardson, 5 years, $40 million, and they have tight ends that are – I like Jordan Reed, but he's hurt a lot, right?
Yeah.
Josh Doxson, Crowder, those guys aren't really going to help Alex Smith get to the moon, are they?
No. Yeah, they need some help there.
All right, second question. This one's a nice, easy one for you. Cousins, more fantasy points this year or last?
Minnesota is typically not a strong team, which is interesting there. He had quite a bit last year, right? What did he finish? 6th?
Yeah, he finished pretty high without those receivers that we just talked about.
Oh, Jeff, you there? Am I losing you?
I'm here. I am here.
You there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you for some reason. I'm not sure why. I wonder if my battery is going on my headset.
My wife does this to me as well.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm losing you, Jeff. Hold on.
Oh, no. Ah! Technology.
All right, you there?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I can't hear you.
No! I wanted to hear your draft picks.
Hold on.
How about now?
Technical difficulties over here. Sorry, Jeff.
I can hear you. You just can't hear me.
I can't hear anything. I mean, I can hear. I just can't. I hear noises. I can't hear anything. I can't make anything out.
Oh, no. All right.
Shucks.
Where'd he go?
Okay.
We lost Jeff for a second. And we are going to try to get Mr. Haseley back.
You there?
There he is.
Wow, I don't know what happened there, but
Are you back?
I think I'm back.
All right.
I think so. Wow, that was odd.
But Minnesota gets Dalvin Cook back with the strong defense. Does Cousins put up more fantasy points this year or last?
What did he finish last year?
He was in the top 6 or 8. Fantasy
Yeah, something like that. Wow. I'm going to say he finishes slightly better this year than last year.
See, I almost take the under on that just because of the good defense in the running game.
That's a good point.
But the receivers, Thielen and Diggs, are a lot better than anything, and Rudolph are a lot better than anything you had in Washington.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought those were good thought process questions.
No, that's a good question.
All right. So we'll pitch it to both you two. And then can I be the facilitator? All
Sure.
right. Everybody has Barkley number 1, right? And we're going to talk one quarterback leagues, Reese, not like Superflex. All right. Who's your number 2?
My number 2?
Yep.
One quarterback.
Jeff has Mr. Chubb.
Is this only offense?
Yes.
I was going to say Bradley Chubb, but I can't. So I'm going to put guys.
You're going to say guys. I think they're real close.
Yeah, I do too. But I just like Chubb's athleticism. I like his mind, his vision, his power, decent speed for his size, and he's just an athlete. He can play.
And he's back, right? I mean, that's the one
depends
thing.
on what team he lands on. I mean, if he goes to like the Buccaneers, he could fly, or the Colts or Carolina. Any one of those 3 teams. I think he'd do really, really well.
All right, so I agree with both of you all. I like both those guys. The other thing about Chubb is I was a skeptic until he showed me that he's back healthy, right?
You're right.
But
Combine was awesome.
There are a lot of good running teams that need good running backs. And so you don't think so, Reese?
Oh, I do.
There's going to be a lot of veterans out of a job as a result of this draft class.
Oh, yeah. But can you imagine? I was going to say Tennessee. They have Deion Lewis with Henry, but there are a lot of teams like Cleveland or Cincinnati or Detroit. I don't buy LeGarrette Blount being the secret sauce. Green Bay. I just see like Oakland. Nice call. Seattle.
Seattle. But again, they don't have a pick to the 4th round. With the exception of their 1st-round pick.
Yeah, the Texans, if they're not a believer in Lamar Miller and Foreman. I just meant there's a lot of teams needing that running back. So can we agree that guys in Chubb are 2-3?
Yes.
All right. Number 4 is where it gets fun for me, Jeff. And I'm going to say this as the facilitator. I think, and I had this discussion on Twitter today, and I thought it was hysterical. And Jeff McFarland made a great analogy. That the wide receiver group is like an ice cream shop, like it's preference. And I look at the ice cream shop as quality in what shop you go to, plus there's preference on that. Because I think that this wide receiver class is a huge tier of players that are similarly talented. Do you disagree with that?
I think there's maybe 1 or 2 who could become legit like wide receiver 1 type of players, and the rest are more complementary type of players.
Yeah.
The wide receiver 2s are slot receivers who fit a certain role or niche with a team.
Right. But then you have guys like Dante Pettis that are good players that aren't even mentioned. And, Miller.
There's a lot. There's a lot of those guys. Richie James is someone that's kind of coming around down a little bit.
Milton.
Kiki Kuti.
Yep.
A lot of Deion Kane. I mean, there's a lot of players who are just,
Auden Tate. How about Auden Tate? Do you like Auden Tate?
Yeah, I do, but he's kind of, dropped off a little bit, though. I don't think he had like a super awesome combine. And I mean, he's there. I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's someone who I think he could be, a strong player, in a couple of years, but maybe not necessarily year one.
Yeah, if On Tate hits, he's going to hit like in the form of a Alshon Jeffrey, Anquan Bolden, bigger dude. I love the sound of the dog in the background. It's like jingle bells. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's my dog asking to go out.
Oh, it's awesome. Don't worry about it. All right. Number 4, Jeff has Sony Michel. Who do you have?
Oh, man, I'm losing you again here, Jeff. It's almost like the feed is like slowing down and it's trying to catch up and it goes into fast motion. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You just can't hear me.
Okay. Say something.
Hello.
Okay. There we go. I hear you, but you're not saying. It's like it's not coming out of your mouth at the same time what I'm seeing. So it's like it's on a delay. It's weird.
All right. So
I feel like you're in like Iraq or something, and I'm in the States and I'm talking to someone.
Yeah, Oklahoma's not that far yet.
You're on the moon. You're on the dark side of the moon here, and I can hear you, but I can't watch you speak.
I hear you. Like the mouth is like real slow.
It's
all
like
right. He's got
movie.
Those are hysterical, especially the ones that you and I grew up with. Not the good ones now. All right. He's got Ridley number 4, and you have Sony Michel. I like both. And I think that Ridley, it gets a bad rap in all these spark stories, people that you and I see all the time, Jeff. I don't know if you feel that or not. When I watch Ridley play, I'm like, that dude can play.
Yeah.
I don't care what his high jump is or his 40 time. I'm like, that dude can play.
Yeah. Yeah, but in my opinion, I have Michel ahead of the receiver. In fact, I have 4 running backs and then the receivers. And then I have 2 more running backs. So I have a lot of running backs with only 2 receivers in the top 10, 9. Just simply because I think it's a stronger class for running backs. And therefore, I think picks in rookie drafts should follow suit in that regard.
Definitely. And like one running back that you didn't have on your list, and I don't expect people to, is Mark Walton out of
Miami.
Had that monster 2016 season. Josh Adams out of Notre Dame had a big season this last year. Granted, he had the best guard and the best tackle that in this draft that he was running behind, right?
That helps.
There's
so many players, though. I mean, you forget guys like Mark Walton, and if he goes to the right team with the right opportunity, a right injury that pops him into a starting role, and you never know what could happen there. That's how the NFL is.
If he goes to Washington, I will draft him.
Or Denver.
He's better than anything on their roster. All right. Go ahead.
Nothing. I was catching up to you what you were saying because it froze on me again.
All right. So he's got DJ Moore and then Ridley. DJ Moore is all right. The high view of DJ Moore is Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Smaller, scrappy, real good routes, speed. Am I doing him justice there, Jeff?
Does he have the temper?
No, yeah. I hate the temper. I would love to see Carolina take him at 24 if they don't go safety or corner. I'm not sure if he makes it that far. Dallas could take him at 19. That's a possibility as well. I don't think that New England, since they moved up and jumped up ahead of the Panthers there at pick 23, I don't think they're going to go with wide receiver because I heard that Belichick's never drafted a wide receiver in the first round before. Do you know that, Jeff?
Thought he had. I thought he Chad Jackson.
Chad Jackson was a second rounder.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He was second.
What about when he was with the Browns?
Yeah, and he was a bust.
Yeah. Reese says, how about when he was with the Browns? But I think they were talking about in recent.
I don't think so.
But
I don't.
What I was
that's a while back. I don't know.
Here's my call on that: is Ridley to the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's possible. He seems like a Cowboy guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just Bama Cowboys. It's similar. So most people have DJ Moore and Ridley up at the top. And what's interesting to me is if you're in a dynasty rookie draft or you're in something else, the best running back in this class could very well be Ronald Jones II.
Yeah, totally. He could.
As the 5th running back off the board, right?
Yeah, that's possible. I really like. Actually, I had Ronald Jones as my 3rd ranked running back until recently.
Now he's number 6.
Yeah.
But can you imagine him being lightning to Christian McCaffrey's lightning? I mean, they would add speed.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen, but yeah, that would be interesting.
All I was thinking is you're adding speed on speed. I think the highest comp I could ever think of Ronald Jones would be a Reggie Bush coming out of USC.
Yeah, Reggie Bush is good. Of course, people talk about Jamal Charles because he kind of looks like him. Wears the same number. Right. So that he probably models his game after him. But, yeah, he just has that flash ability and that elusiveness, which is so often wanted for a running back.
Right. But when I think of teams that could use that speed at running back, there aren't that many.
Oakland?
Oakland, yes.
They could use him.
Uh-huh.
I can see Sony Michel going there.
You know what would be just like blow our minds? How about if the Rams took Ronald Jones?
They're not going to do that. That'd be stupid for them to do that.
I know, but I meant to be thunder and lightning kind of thing.
Maybe.
Could the Dolphins take Ronald Jones?
The Dolphins could. Your Broncos could in the second round.
Bills.
How about the Giants?
Giants. There's a lot
in
of
the
teams.
Second round, yeah, who's going there?
Giants, Jets, somebody like that, right?
How about the trades that are going to happen on day 2, right before?
Oh man.
Especially because you're talking about wide receivers that are going to be right there. You're talking about running backs that are going to be right there. There's probably going to be a couple corners or safeties that are still popular there. There might even be, like an Arden Key type of defensive end who's there at the top of the second round. Man, it's going to be bananas in Dallas.
Well, I think this draft is going to be bananas anyway. So the next 3 receivers, I think most people have in some order: Sutton, Kirk, and James Washington.
Yep, and I've got Washington, Kirk, and Sutton.
Those 3, I think, are a coin flip, depending on, because they're so different than each other, where each one lands.
Yeah, well, the one that goes to Green Bay is the one I'm interested in.
I am, unless it's Sutton. But if you look at the way the guys that Green Bay's drafted, it's a Kirk or a Washington. It's not a big
Anthony
dude
Miller.
like Sutton.
Right. Anthony Miller, Christian Kirk, James Washington. One of them is going to go to Green Bay.
Pettis, Richie James. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing.
So when I look at this, I'm going to hit you with 2 other questions. Who's your best fantasy quarterback in this draft?
Fantasy quarterback.
So it has to do with longevity plus production.
And where do you think they could land?
Right.
What you drinking there, Jeff?
Iced tea.
Baker.
Out of a cup? You got a straw there.
Oh man, iced tea, and I'm at the end of it, so I'm like, more caffeine. But he says Baker. You have Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Do you want me to give you a Lamar Jackson stat, Reese?
What?
There's only been one quarterback to have a 3,500-yard passing, 1,500-yard rushing season in the college football.
Well, it's Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's done it twice.
And one of the reasons why I really like Jackson is he can actually play out of the pocket.
Yeah.
He can maneuver around the pocket, and he can take off if needed. But he's kind of like Steve Young in that regard.
Right. Or Fran Tarkington or Russell Wilson or whomever else.
I would say closer to Russell Wilson than Steve Young, but similar.
Right. And I don't mean like the black quarterback thing. And I hate when we do that, pigeonhole that. I just mean, Baker Mayfield scrambles more around than Lamar Jackson does.
Well, and Baker Mayfield will take off more probably than Lamar Jackson.
Right.
You'd think it would be the other way around.
But wouldn't you love Lamar Jackson in Arizona sitting behind Sam Bradford for the 3 games before he gets hurt?
Not 2.
Not 2. Well,
Like
whenever he plays,
whenever
he plays the Rams next, that's
just talking about preseason, right?
Yeah, that's the game. I mean, you have to think about it. Look at all the players the Rams have.
Sue, Donald. No, you know what I was saying. Last year predicted that he would last 2 games.
I know, and he did. He had the awesome first game.
Yeah, he was great.
Then they just start. Then he had that bone bruise, that quote unquote bone bruise
That lasted the whole year.
Yes.
He mentioned Kiki Kute, and I don't know if I pronounced his name. I know you saw him live, right? Texas Tech, slot receiver.
I saw him play. I didn't see him live, but I saw.
Did you go to that game?
No, I went and saw the game, not live, but on the screen.
All right. What'd you think of him?
I think he is more than a slot receiver. I think he is I think he potentially could.
He definitely doesn't have the size.
No, I think he's.
If anything, he's gonna have to be like a Marvin Harrison type of player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the speed. I could see him being Teddy Ginn. He's
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but he's not that different size-wise than Teddy Ginn.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think he could be a Teddy.
Is he like 185, something like that?
Yeah.
What's Ginn?
He can't be too much, man. That guy's skinny. It's just that he's so fast, nobody catches him. The other guy that I'm intrigued by, just because he's so cheap, he's so down the list, is St. Brown, because he looked pretty good with Kaiser throwing him the ball.
He looks better than Calvin Benjamin. He's kind of the same type of build and style.
Except he's
faster and he's got better separation than Benjamin.
And he's 20 years old, and Benjamin's 27, right?
Right.
Or whatever Benjamin is. Benjamin was 23.
He might be older too.
Yeah. So all I was getting at is, here's this guy that we all like poo-poo and push him away, and he could be one of the guys that's the best receiver in this class. We could name 10 receivers, and I'd be confident in saying one of these guys will be the best receiver in the class. Whereas last year, here's my point, Reese. Mm-hmm. Last year, everybody thought Corey Davis was the de facto best receiver in the class. Mm-hmm. Every year we have, this is the best running back, this is the best receiver. This year, I can't make that statement about either position. Can you, Jeff?
Well, I'd say Barkley for running back.
But Ron Jones could easily be there. Not easily, but
it's possible. And a lot depends on where he goes, But
this time last year, we wouldn't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hunt has a chance to. Go ahead.
I still think that Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback, without a doubt, fantasy-wise, at least. He's far and away the best fantasy quarterback, in my opinion.
But I was thinking this time last year, nobody would have taken you if you'd have said Hunt is as good as Fournette.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Or Kamara.
Or McCaffrey. Well, McCaffrey was kind of high.
Or Juju's as good as Corey Davis.
Right.
I just meant, though, most years we have these definite opinions that are usually wrong, but we have these definite opinions. And this year, it's just like the Wild Wild West. I mean.
That's right.
It is. There is nothing.
Anthony Miller, the top receiver, goes to Green Bay. We'll see.
But even if you buy that, who's to say that one of these other guys doesn't get drafted by New Orleans and becomes the top guy, or
someone. Seattle.
What a mess.
Yeah. All right. So, Jeff, 2 more questions, and Reese has to – it's almost bedtime for Bronco Billy. How bad a shape is his Broncos in, Jeff?
What's that?
How bad a shape is his Broncos in?
What's the question?
How bad of shape is his Broncos in terms of franchise building?
Oh, man. I don't know. They've got a window. And they need to, in the next year, probably, or two might be pushing it. they've got to, that's their opportunity. But we'll see. Well, it also depends on where they go with quarterback.
So
who do you want, Reese? Who do you want as the quarterback this year?
Baker.
Or Baker?
Only because he doesn't think Darnold or Rosen will be there.
No, I think they like Baker.
Yeah, he does have some swagger to him. But
He's an Elway.
Yeah, I could see, though, the Broncos investing a third or fourth rounder into a wide receiver, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could, especially with all the wide receivers that are available.
In the age of Thomas and Sanders, right?
Yeah. Hey, how about James Washington goes to the Broncos?
Oh, he'd wear his orange OSU Cowboys and his orange Broncos.
Yeah, and then he could torment Baker.
Torment Baker.
Did you know that Mason Rudolph is from my hometown?
What? Oh, Rudolph is?
Yeah, Rock Hill.
Oh, man.
South Carolina.
He's a good kid, though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, they've got Rock Hill's known as the town name is Football USA. In fact, they even have a Wikipedia page because there's so many players from Rock Hill that are in the NFL.
So talking about Rudolph, I think he's last 5 picks of the first round kind of quarterback.
Say that again. Again, the thing broke up on me.
Last 5 picks of the first round.
Last 5 picks. What do I think that he could go then?
That's when I think he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe like New England. Imagine him there.
Or the teams that pass on a quarterback in the first round trade back up.
What's that? Say again.
Or the teams that pass on a quarterback. Let's say the Giants pass on a quarterback.
Oh, and they trade back up into the first round to get their guy. Yeah, that's entirely possible.
History has not been kind to those guys, though. Bridgewater, all those guys. Paxton Lynch. History has not been kind.
Right.
Look at that big yawn.
Oh,
he
man,
was doing it earlier.
All right.
I blame him.
Get my kids to bed too. They're upstairs in my room.
I blame him. All right. Last one. Who's your – I'll ask Reese first. Who's your biggest surprise pick?
Who do I think is going to be a surprise?
Yeah, team and player.
Shaquem Griffin, the dude with one hand from UCF, going to the Cowboys at 19.
19? I think he's a second rounder. I'll say Cowboys in the second rounder with you.
Yeah.
I think he gets picked after the 4th round.
I could see it. It's just that he had such a speed, such a physically gifted dude. Guys to the Lions would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How about guys to the Eagles?
Huh? What was that?
How about Darius Geis to the Eagles?
See, I think I like that, but they traded for Ajayi. So here's my last question for you. Jay Ajayi, he did very little during the season last year. Did a lot in the playoffs.
This connection sucks. I don't know what's going on.
It's all right, man. Hey, we'll talk to you. You good? You good? Jeff.
You there?
Jeff.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, now I can. Now that it caught up to you. The thing had to fast forward.
Right. Last question. Jay Ajayi did very little in the season last year once he came to the Eagles. They still have Sproles.
All I heard was Ajayi and Eagles.
Do you like him next year or not?
No, I don't like him next year. I think they're going to get somebody else, and Ajayi's going to be phased out.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You're talking to me like I'm in a wheelchair or something.
I agree with you. But, hey, I agree with you only because people see what he did down the stretch.
Oh man, this
What do you
connection
think?
sucks.
I think Ajayi. It depends on who they bring in, because like I didn't think Clement or the other dude that they had. Like,
They had Blunt. He's now in Detroit.
yeah,
They still have Pumphrey.
Yeah,
Small
they
guy.
have Sproles.
Sproles.
but Sproles. I thought Sproles was retiring.
He might be.
Him and
'Cause, I
Frank
mean,
Gore.
Man, that dude has 9 lives.
I know he does.
Or
So
No,
did Thomas Jones.
Sproles, Thomas Jones. Hey man, Gore's he's gonna be telling his kids that he watched Frank Gore run.
Wait, did Frank Gore and Thomas Jones ever play in the same game?
I would think so.
I would think so too.
who's Thomas Jones?
Who's Thomas Jones? Drafted by the Bears, played with the Bears and the Cardinals.
When did he retire?
I don't know. We'll take this offline. Jeff, it's been great catching up with you.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Before you lose your connection again.
Oh, you asked Reese about the surprise player, but you didn't ask me.
But I didn't know if it was in that jumbled part.
Oh yeah, you may have. I might have missed it, but
So,
I'm gonna say Michael Gallup is someone that I really like, and Bo Scarborough. You know I like him. I've already talked about him. I'm not saying he could be the next Derrick Henry, but he could be the next Derrick Henry.
What team and what round for each?
For Scarborough, man, he's probably like a 4th round guy, but he might make it to the 5th. Gallup is probably a late second round guy, might make it to the 3rd.
I could see Gallup to his boys in the 3rd, local boys staying home.
Yeah, right.
Because he kind of fits that Manny Sanders kind of play to me.
Yeah, I agree. I like
All
his
right.
game.
Hey, since you're a South Carolina guy, what do you think about Jake Bentley?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about who's the tight end?
Samuels?
No, not him. The hell? Why can't I think of it?
Hayden Hurst?
Thank you, Hayden Hurst. I'd rather talk about him. And we didn't really talk much about tight ends.
All right. I am anti-Gesicki or Gesicki, whatever.
Just because is he like the next Evan Engram?
Well, it's because he's scored great in all the combine stuff, but he didn't do very well in
now I'm listening.
games. You there? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Jeff!
Sorry, man.
You all right? Is it
No, I
caught
heard
up
John.
yet?
Yeah, but it went like.
I've heard
So
I
I don't know
talk
what you
fast.
said. Yeah.
Hey, but rookie tight ends for fantasy, I like the Oklahoma kid, and the sleeper I like is, do you know? All right, I really like I like the South Dakota State guy, Dallas Goedert, but the sleeper guy I like is Ian Thomas out of Indiana.
Ooh, good call there. He's not getting a lot of pub either.
No, and if you want to go deeper, the guy I like is Chris Herndon, the 4th or whatever the numbers are from Miami.
Is that Samuels?
No, it's Chris Herndon, the 3rd, the 4th,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, and also, how about the Stanford guy? Shoot, what's his name?
He's a blocker.
His name's escaping me. Yeah, but Stanford has good tight ends, man. You have to think about him as a possibility of someone who could, already knows the pro-style offense, who could come in and make a difference. But you think he's more of a blocker than he is a receiver?
Yes, just like I think that the Notre Dame tight end Smythe has been used. He's still a decent receiver, but he's been more of a blocker. On tight end university, how about since I mentioned the Miami guy, I think they have a decent track record.
So what was that? The last part?
Miami has a decent track record of tight ends.
Oh yeah, track record for tight ends. Yeah, they do. They do. I agree there. What was the one you were talking about? What was his name?
Ian Thomas, or Ian Thomas from Indiana.
Oh, the Indiana guy. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, shoot, some of these guys that like 6th or 7th round picks could turn out, especially with all these wealth of talent, in front of them. Some of these other guys are just going to be forgotten because there's so many good players ahead of them.
Yeah.
And then, it just might be, the right person, the right time, the right injury happens, and this player turns into a star for all we know.
Well, look at the history with Shaheen was a 2nd round pick. Hooper was a 1st or 2nd round pick. I mean, there's
Henry,
been there's been a lot of flops, and all I'm saying is I think teams will not push up an average player too high. But anyway, all right, Jeff, we better let you go. It's already been 2 hours. Nice.
All right, hey, my wife's calling me. Actually, I need to go.
All right, have a good one, Jeff. Bye.
All right, we'll talk to you later.